G'day folks. So the title of this video is The Riddle of Your Name, and I think you'll find it is a riddle once you start looking into what the different components of a name actually mean in the law. So I'm going to start with an interesting definition I came across in the law dictionary, and that is the definition of proper name. And this is it, and I think you need to know this. Proper name. What if I asked you, before I look at this actually, before I put it up, ask yourself, what's your proper name? Okay? I think most of you will get this wrong. So ask yourself, in the eyes of the law, what is your proper name? And now I'll tell you what it actually is. Here we go. So this is from Ballantyne's Law Dictionary, 3rd edition, sorry. Proper name. The first or Christian name of a person. So I think most of you would have included the family name, which we'll discover is actually more correctly termed a surname, was part of your proper name. But it's not. Not in the eyes of the law. The law identifies your proper name, the proper name of a person, as being the first or Christian name. You know what? There's something else to be drawn from that. Any other name for a person is not a proper name. In fact, it could be termed an improper name. Okay, let's have a look at definition of a different sort of name. Let's have a look at the definition of legal name. And this is from Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Legal name consists of one Christian name and one surname. And we've just identified that the Christian name is the proper name. So when you combine your proper name with a surname, you create a legal name. But a legal name is not a proper name for a person. So what is it a name for? We'll get to that in due course. Rightio, let's have a look at another definition of name. This is from Bouvier's Law Dictionary, 1856. Name. No man can have more than one Christian name. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? And if you go back to the definition of legal name, if you recall what it was, it said it's the combination of one Christian name with one surname. However, it does say here, it goes on here, two or more names usually kept separate may undoubtedly be compounded so as to form, in contemplation of law, but one. Well, they can never speak in plain English, but the plain English translation of that is simply this. If you have a middle name, well, you don't. You don't actually have a middle name. It's not possible for you to have a middle name. If your mother and father gave you two names, what you would call two names, two Christian names, that in fact is not two Christian names. That is one Christian name. So if your name is, if your Christian name is John Henry, then that is but one name. So two names which are that is two or more names usually kept separate, having been compounded so as to form one. So when you're filling out forms, if your name is John Henry Doe, then your first name is John Henry. And you'll note too on most birth certificates, or on most documents, they'll put Christian name and then they'll put in brackets an S. So it'll be Christian name and then in brackets an S. Well, that's just their way of leaving it open for you to make a mistake. Okay? Because they love it when you make a mistake. And that's a whole other story. But when there's two names, when they put Christian name, for example, on some birth certificates that I've seen, they put Christian name and then in brackets they put an S, and then they have two or more names after that. Well, it's only in your mind that is two separate names as opposed to one name comprising of two parts. And what I'm suggesting to you is that the correct way to style and frame that name is as one name, John Henry. John Henry is one name, as opposed to being two names. And that's what it says in the Law Dictionary. No man can have more than one Christian name. Two or more names, usually kept separate, may undoubtedly be compounded so as to form but one. Okay, moving on. Let's have a look at that surname then. If the surname added to the proper name creates a legal name, which is by extension an improper name, what do they say about the surname? Well, surname, the family name, the name over and above the Christian name. Well, if you understand anything about hierarchies, you'll know that if it's over and above, it has more authority. Okay, so if they tell, and that's from Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, the name over and above the Christian name. You might say, oh, that's just a quirky definition. Well, I'll just go and have a look at one other thing. This is from dictionary.com. This is a definition of the prefix sir. So surname, so it's, what sort of name is a surname? Well, it's the sir name. And what does sir mean? A prefix meaning over, above, in addition. And they provide surname as an example. So if a law dictionary says that the surname is over and above the Christian name, I think that's exactly what the surname was designed to be. A name which takes authority over the Christian name. Now, let's just have a look at one more definition of surname. This is from Bouvier's Law Dictionary, 1856. This is quite interesting. This is just setting out and pointing out to you that the surname is not in fact a family name. So surname, this is a definition in the Law Dictionary. Surname. In modern, and remember this is 1856, okay? And if you look at the history of surnames, they actually started, well, probably officially started for most people around 1500. Is when they started to be used by most people. Okay, so 1500. So it says in modern times, well, in 1856, modern times would be around the 1800s, wouldn't it? In modern time, so surname, in modern times have become family names. Okay? And if you want to also get into why they're over and above and have authority over the Christian name, it also says here, they are called surnames because originally they were written over the name in judicial writings and contracts. So they were written over the top of the Christian name in judicial writings and contracts. That's why they're called surnames, because they're over and above the Christian name. And have taken authority over it. And the fact that it says in modern times have become family names tells you that surname isn't another name for family name, quite the opposite. Family name is another name for surname. What happened was surnames were imposed on people, if you look into the history of it, and over time, but all members of one family would have the same surname. Over time, people, over the generations, people lost sight of where it originally came from and began to think of it as a name for their family. And the common people began to call it a family name, which is why they say in modern times have become family names. But they weren't designed to be family names. It was designed to be a name that was over and above the Christian name and had authority over and above the Christian name. So let's just move on and see what we can deduce from all this. Well, one other thing, name. Here's a definition of name, just a general definition of name. This one comes from Anderson's Dictionary of Law. Identity of name is prima facie evidence of identity of person. So the name identifies what you are. Okay? And, well, I'll come back to that as well. So the name identifies what you are. But if the surname has authority over the Christian name, then you're being identified by your surname, not your Christian name. So you're being identified by a name that is, by definition, improper for a person. So you're being identified by an improper name. Now, I've just got an example here. Let's have a look at this. So I'll put it here an example that you can have a look at, just to really, sometimes when you look at an example, it's easier to work out what's going on. So the Christian name here is John Henry, and the surname is Doe. And often you'll find that the surname is styled in all capital letters, which is it's a related, but it's another issue, another set of facts and figures. And then you see that the proper name is the same as the Christian name, John Henry, and that is one name. John Henry is one Christian name, comprising two parts, but it is one name. Okay? The legal name comes from combining the proper name with the surname, and you get John Henry Doe, which is often styled John Henry with Doe all capitalised. And sometimes the whole name gets capitalised. So that's how it's working. And the issue is this: why are people given a legal name which by definition in law is not a proper name for a person? If you want to know more about this issue, I've got an extensive video on it. The title is Strawman Name Birth Certificate, and I examine in much greater detail what the implications and ramifications are of all these names being done this way. So anyway, look, I hope you find that interesting. This is extremely important and extremely serious, and I highly recommend you look at that video. But that's up to you. Make your own decision. But you need to know who you are, and a big part of knowing who you are is understanding the construction of names, and how, if you look into history, surnames were imposed. They weren't welcomed by people. They were imposed by the monarch. And this has a deep history and a rather dark history. So if you want to know more about that, have a look at that video, Strawman Names Birth Certificate. Otherwise, I guess that's it. Okay, see you folks.